Test. What up? What up? Happening? Hello. All right. Let's just start this. So I'm gonna lower the volume on that. All right. With 5 seconds to spare. Yeah, this is actually having a live show is not so easy. Oh, my animated puppet's getting angry again. Oh, wait, the vocals are off. Yeah, hello. There it is. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy New Year. It is 2022. Yay. Not so easy to get in this live thing. I have to do, I tried to do it this time, having my posting on my Instagrams before the show, so it took me about a little over 7 minutes to do that, and other stuff too. Just let's just jump right into it. How you doing? Thanks for joining another show of just another crypto show, where we just talk about crypto and other things, and my journey through this investments and crypto and all that good stuff. Here's Happy New Year. Today is January. Well, I'm in Amsterdam, and so it's it's almost 1 a.m. So it's January 2nd in Amsterdam, 1 a.m. But in New York, it's still January 1st, the first day of 2022. And yeah, I hope everyone had a safe New Year, lovely New Year. One thing I noticed is just funny how this whole pandemic thing and it's definitely changed how we celebrate. Here in Amsterdam, we have a lockdown situation, so a lot of the stores are closed. Only groceries, places that sell food, are open, and it's going to be like that for another 2 weeks. And well, hold on, I gotta fix this puppet real quick. Give me a second. Oh, the mic is all right. So we have we're locked down for another 2 weeks. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's how it is. Because it's just, if I remember years ago how it was a big deal at different parties and New Year's Eve parties in Amsterdam. All the clubs and everything was full, and tickets for like close to €200 each for a ticket for a New Year's Eve party. Right, so let's just jump right in. It was a good year. I had a good year. Looking back, I went through a lot of changes personally in my personal life, and one of the biggest things is getting into crypto. So I'll go over the highlights, some quick highlights of what happened in the space. A couple in my personal highlights, what I went through in 2021. Which a big part of this show is just me sharing my journey. So, and it's, yeah, this is like my way of documenting my journey. So, project management. Oh yeah, I passed my test, by the way. I passed my test. Yay! I think, I don't know if you watched the last episode, but I was taking a test for being a certified associate project manager, a certified associate in project management, CAPM test. I mentioned in my last episode, I was trying to stay away from the charts as much as possible, actually, and I didn't. Yeah, but anyway, let's just get into that later. And then we'll just go look at 2022. I mean, that's going to be discussed basically throughout this whole show. I've prepared something though, actually. So let's just jump right into the. Look at this. Ooh, finally we get a little pump here with Bitcoin. We're at 47.7. Hold on, let me put this around. Let's see what's going on here. Look at that. We're getting a pump. We are getting a pump. By the way, New Year's Eve. This was New Year's Eve. This was yesterday. We went really. And if you didn't buy, I don't know. You should have. I mean, I've been all in, but I'm just, we just got to keep going, finding a way to get, hold on, to continue buying these dips. And if I say it that way, it sounds very irresponsible, but hey, fuck, it's already, the stuff that we purchased, if you bought into this dip, it's already gone up this much. And that's like less than 24 hours, right? So that's like if you were like into trading, I'm not. Oh fuck! Can I draw a freaking rectangle? Alright, fuck this. Day trading, day traders would have a lot of fun with this. So right, I prepared something to. Where is it? Alright, here it is. Oh no, wait. Alright. So just a quick highlight on 2021, big thing that came out at the beginning of the year in GameStop, where hedge funds were shorting the game company GameStop because we were in a pandemic. No one's going to the store to buy games. It wasn't happening. So they shorted it, and this kind of got to the communities in Reddit, and like the gamer community or the Reddit community just kept on buying a bunch of GameStop stock, which pushed the stock up. And being that the hedge funds were shorting it, going the other way, it really, there was like in billions of that they owed it. I don't know. It was the biggest short squeeze in history, and it's for the first time. It was where how should I say, the community, the people who aren't even involved in stocks, made such a huge influence and made these hedge funds get a taste of their own medicine. And it's quite interesting. It also gave birth to the whole meme stock, right? Where there's like a stock where this was going up, not based on utility, not based on firm fundamentals, but just memes and just buying into it. And it shows the strength of the community, but it's a very, very dangerous thing, this whole meme stock thing, right? Because then soon after comes Dogecoin, right? Dogecoin was huge. Some people became Dogecoin millionaires, right? Soon after, Shiba Inu came out, which I actually profited from that, because it just seemed I missed out on Doge. Like some people, I missed out on Doge, and then Shiba came out. I was like, all right, fuck it, and it was like many, I'm sure, just did the math, and if Shiba ever came to a penny, till now, if it comes to a penny, you'll make a ton of money. I don't think that's ever going to happen, because Shiba Inu, by the way, is the supply. You learn more. I've learned a lot more since then. It's an infinite supply, so that in itself makes it's just gonna inflate. And however, it's not bad to have a little bit, because it's there's utility. So I don't know. It's whatever that means. I'm not saying it. None of this is financial advice, by the way. Let's just put it that way. All right. None of this is financial advice. Let us move forward. So Tesla, you could see how a lot of big tech was buying, like, is going in towards this whole space. Elon Musk was making tweets about Dogecoin left and right, which was pushing the stock up. You could see how that in itself is kind of like this whole meme philosophy, how you could see where communities can push coins, but again, that's very dangerous because things can pump and things can dump. But there's something to be said here. You could make money, but don't be like everybody else. Don't be the retail that buys into after it's pumped, right? If you could find, well, I'm not even going to get into that right now, but we're talking about highlights. This is, the whole thing with Tesla going into the space is quite interesting and adds to my current adds to the fundamentals that make my convictions to why my convictions towards this space. First, apart from this whole crypto thing and making a lot of gains, I love technology. I've always loved technology. I think it's technology, and the advancements of technology is beautiful. It's like the combination of art and mathematics, and I find it very, very beautiful. And so that I could appreciate where technology is going, or think about it, and you could see a lot of technology companies are getting into the space, and that tells you something, right? Tesla, Amazon with Jeff Bezos, they're trying to get to the moon and Mars, right? Elon Musk is talking about being able to spend Dogecoin on Mars and stuff. These might be like kind of like jokes and stuff, but you know what? Sooner or later, this is gonna happen, right? What else? Jack Dorsey from Twitter left being a CEO of Twitter and went to Square, which is now called Block, right? And they're heavily buying into Bitcoin. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook changed their name to Meta to take part of the metaverse, which this is all in this space, right? So that's my point here. Tech is going deep into this. This is where technology is going. So that being said, this is a space that's going to grow and grow and grow. Bitcoin surpasses 1 trillion market cap for the first time. At the moment, I don't believe that's the case. Let's go to market. It's tapped it a few times already since then, but it's always good to take a look. UTC. Let's see. So the market cap right now, okay, it's a little under 900 million. Right. Well, it passed it this year, so that's a big deal, right? So we just have to, sooner or later, it's going to pass 1 trillion and make 1 trillion the new support, and then continue up from there. Bitcoin, El Salvador is the first country in the world that officially made Bitcoin one of their main currencies, where if you're a merchant, or it's like a legal tender in El Salvador. This is extremely interesting because, I don't have to explain. It's very interesting, very amazing. It's an interesting part of history, and if you look at it, it kind of feels like El Salvador is a bit of a testing ground for this whole thing, for this whole being able to spend digital assets and trade digital assets and buy goods, and basically even in this case making some parts legal tender. And so far it's going pretty good. It's funny, on the day that it went, Bitcoin dropped. That's a funny irony. Irony's everywhere. But on the other hand, China has banned Bitcoin again. And what's interesting is they kicked a bunch of all. It was made illegal. All the miners left, right? And all the miners left. They've migrated to other countries like U.S. or a lot of them went to Kazakhstan or all over the world, right? And so, and it's funny is because what's interesting is after this, China made like there was like it feels like China felt like they made a mistake. Wait a second, because Bitcoin kept going up. This was before. This was in the summertime, I think it was, and they even had a survey. If throughout they gave a survey throughout the people. You know what? Now that I'm talking about this, it's like all bullshit. Now that I'm thinking about it, I bet you this is on purpose. This is all speculation, but yeah. What if that's on purpose? To get all the people out of the rest of the world. Anyway, there's nothing more I can say on this at the moment. For the first time, Bitcoin this year is now, and they made it official in the U.S. In the U.S., there's an ETF for Bitcoin now. So those who don't know, an ETF is like a basket of stocks, for example, like in the traditional equity stocks. An ETF would be like, say, for example, a tech ETF, right? And within that ETF would be a bunch of tech companies like Tesla or Apple, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like buying a basket, right? So now, there is now in the U.S. They've already had this in other countries like Canada, but in the U.S. this year they've officially have an ETF where people, like normal people, like the retail, it's easier for the retail that's already buying stocks and everything to get into buying into the space or investing into the space. It's a good news. I mean, if you're in a crypto space, you're not going to buy an ETF because you much would rather just buy the Bitcoin itself, whereas the ETF is like, what's the point, right? But this kind of gets the retail more into this. People who want to invest, but they're not ready yet they're not ready to take on all the tech to be able to have these crypto wallets, etc. Right? That's Gary Gensler. At the moment, there's a lot of this whole thing with making it how should I say the regulation. A lot of regulation. There was a big with Congress. They had a big. Gary Gensler wasn't there, but there was. The point of this is regulation. There's a lot of regulation happening, or the discussions are happening, but it's looking good because there's a discussion happening. That's the hope. That's what I'm trying to say. And the fact is, there's going to be some sort of regulation. There has to be some sort of regulation as far as like how the powers of the world can agree on how we can manage this thing. But the fact is, it's getting clear to everyone that this whole space is something that is like a life of its own, and apart from that, there's so much positive things coming out of it. So it's because everything is getting digitized, right? It only makes sense that the way we could transfer value through this on a blockchain. It just makes sense, right? So it's nice to see that there's this discussion happening, right? But different countries still have different opinions. In India, they're banning Bitcoin as well. But again, it's going to be difficult because when you ban something, you make it stronger. NFTs became like the biggest thing that came out that evolved from this whole space this year. And I saw this. What was interesting? I saw like one thing I noticed in the first pandemic was how music artists and all artists, everybody was affected. Everybody's jobs, how they earn money, how they got their hustle on, everything was affected during now, right? But one thing I noticed particularly early on is how the music artists were getting hurt, and you just had to think about it to see that. Because first of all, most music how the industry works, at least in the U.S., the music industry, a lot of the artists, the music industry makes most of the money off the music they make, right? The artist makes most of their money doing shows and merchandise, right? And being that with the pandemic there was no shows, you can see how these even big music artists were suffering. Their income was getting hit, right? And then you started seeing this whole thing. I mean, the technology was already there, but at least I, as a person on the sidelines back then, I'm starting to see like this whole thing, NFT thing, right? When I first heard about it, where it's like, oh, where the piece of artwork is on a blockchain and you could own that piece of artwork, right? And I started seeing how artists were taking advantage of that, which only makes sense. If you're a music artist and you could make a piece of artwork, or any type of artist, you could sell it directly to the buyer, and now they own that piece of art, right? So this is not just a JPEG or whatever. This is a piece of art now, right? Where it's on a blockchain, it's official. If you're like, it's just the technology behind this. You have to look back. You have to look past these pictures and think about these pictures and like look beyond this and see where this is going, where art is going. But this NFTs is huge. The prices for these things went like it's skyrocketing as I speak. Like for what, this is like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they're selling for like anything between like 500,000, 40,000, millions. It's ridiculous, right? And this is CryptoPunks on the right here. Sooner, there's gonna be a drop, of course. You can kind of see something that pumps its high. It's gonna be a drop and level up, but then this is the future, right? This is how we're gonna be trading art. Play to earn games came out this year, right? And I don't know if it came out this year, but it definitely became popular this year. So with the main one, Axie Infinity, and this is changing everything. So, these kids are not going to want to play for free. No one's going to want to play for free anymore, right? No one's going to want to play for free, and it's just amazing, great stuff. The metaverse is happening. These three things right here on the screen. I just want to say right now, I personally feel that this is like the future. The combination of these three things: NFTs, gaming, and the metaverse, right? And just cryptocurrency, that is just basically how you trade and value. Things are gonna have value within these within the space, right? And the value will be traded with cryptocurrency, and also it'll be on the blockchains. Like some games will be on different blockchains. It's going to be many different blockchains, but it's all definitely going to be in this crypto space. The reason why I put this is a movie, Free Guy and Ready Player One. A lot of people ask. One thing I get a question I hear a lot from friends, family, like, what is the metaverse? And the only way I can best explain it to them, if you haven't seen Ready Player One or Free Guy, both of these movies are really good. I like them, and that's kind of a good representation of what the metaverse could be like, right? And I like to think, art imitates life, imitates art. So you can see in these movies, and the Ready Player One is based on a book. I don't know, written a long time ago, but like sci-fi, I always see how sci-fi kind of shows how the futures will be, right? Because these were people that wrote this that was really thinking ahead of tech and how it's going to be, and well, yeah, just check out these movies, and you could see. To add to my conviction to gaming, right? Here's one thing, right? The way you look at it, gaming's not gonna. I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Gaming's not gonna go anywhere. It's always going to be there. People love to play games, right? All ages, right? And if you think about it, if you see this and understand what the metaverse can be and what, so if you think is gaming, if that could be what gaming can be, it's inevitable that's where it's going to be. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. It's not going to stay where it is. This, right? If it just makes sense that it's going to go in this direction where there's going to be virtual reality, augmented reality. It's just going to be super digital, right? I was explaining this to someone recently. I think it was my son's mom, and she got kind of scared of it, or she just thinks it's kind of scary. I mean, yes, it could be very, very dystopian indeed, but at the same time, it's like it's dystopian in the sense of like if you're just gonna be like in a small room and you're never leaving your room anymore, and you're just always in the metaverse, right? and nobody leaves their house. Kind of sounds similar to no. But there's also a utopian aspect as well, like everything balances each other out. It is I will still like to go out and get fresh air and meet people. I see the difference now when that I meet people. I can appreciate that even more now. Like, wow, this feels really nice to have this conversation face to face. So I don't think it'll be completely just shutting the reality out. No, it's not. This is going to be a new space where we just can create digitally from, right? And that's it. And again, with the reverse, why wouldn't gaming and everything go that way? That's why I feel it's a good idea to, not financial advice, but to invest in this space, gaming, metaverse, and NFTs, right? But again, I just want to say something before I say that. Hold on, NFTs. I haven't personally been doing the NFT thing, but hold on. So there was a lot of risk involved there with NFTs. I just want to point that out because you always have to find a buyer if you're gonna sell something. So, okay. Okay. So these are my yearly. So that was like, that's what kind of big events that happened in that space and tech and all that. A lot of other things happened, but this is more of my personal stuff here. Every year I like to think about, hey, ever since I was like, as far back as I can remember, I always took a yearly assessment of myself and kind of wanted to see that I was either smarter or whatever, or in some sort of better than I was last year, right? And so I think this year was very good for me. These are highlights of my year. Me and my ex, we split earlier, but this is we finally it took a couple years, but we finally finalized this whole house thing. So it was finally under my name, so that was a good thing. It was it was and it happened because it was best for we were all living together, and our relationship was more volatile than Bitcoin, or if I'm gonna say no, I'm just messing around, but education first. Is my son's growing up, he's in high school, so that's the main thing at the moment. So that was a big thing. Getting into investments because of that, because of this whole shifting of my personal life as well as the pandemic, and also it was a really good year with working a lot of the freelance jobs that I was doing. I had a bit more extra cash, and I said, hey, you know what, let me start investing this, and I started getting into investments, which eventually got me into the crypto space, right? So that I think that was a good thing because I've done well. Even the fact that I got in enough time before we're really topped out like the 67 mark, I think, for Bitcoin. So I got in just in time where it's still, I'm still in profit, all in all. And also what I've learned, what I'm learning, I feel is quite invaluable, right? I'm getting better at handling risk, right? So that's good. Then I've also getting my kids into learning them about, teaching them about digital assets and a bit of investment. So so very high level, but that was the year at a glance. Okay, so this was just a few days ago, and this is me in Berlin. Right, so let me just take a break for a moment, and we'll get into that. So, give me a sec. My mouth is dry. So, I was studying for this test, right? The project is for project management, and I went to Berlin. Actually, I was there for I got back on the 29th, I believe. No, yeah, I took the test on the 30th. right? I went to Berlin. I was one trip away, keeping my sky priority level with Caleb and their friends. I was one trip away, and that's why I got this trip. I got a really, really, really good deal, and me and my girlfriend went out there. It was freezing as hell. This is me. Picture you see here is me in the Holocaust monument, which I've been there many years, but it was the first time her going there. But I went there for the main purpose one purpose to study. Well, the main purpose to keep my status, but it's first world problems, right? It's fucking sucks, but stupid. I mean, to study, right? And I was out there. I'm studying, and I've been studying. I mentioned this in the previous my previous stream that I had to study, right? And I've been studying this. This is actually, I work for a medtech company, right? And it's actually one of my goals at work that were given to me because, see, you have to understand, I'm more of a creative guy, right? If you knew me personally, I'm more of a creative guy. That's like my organizational skills or sometimes can use a lot of help, right? And so I was put on the, I was put on this track. And one of my goals is to get a certification in project management. So I got this book. It was since the whole year's been very busy. I've been doing a lot of like work, freelance work, and also getting more involved with this whole crypto thing and everything. Like literally, I don't know if sometimes if you just start getting into it, you get so consumed and that's all you're doing, right? So it's like I had to really spare my time, and I only basically, my point is it was only the last 2 weeks I think that I really, okay, let me just crack this book. I started reading it. I had some training in June, live training, it lasted for about a week, right? It was virtual. Some guy from India. He was a nice guy. He was teaching me, another guy, project management. And the whole time while I'm reading this, because I'm also watching the videos in the background, the sessions that we had, while I'm reading this, I'm like, man, it's like, why is all the information different, right? And I'm thinking, it was the same, but it was different. And I was thinking, damn, this must be like some sort of abstract teaching, right? This must be, I was like, wow, I was getting impressed. Wow, I can't wait for all this to link up, right? So I finished the book, and I'm still, I'm in Berlin, and I didn't realize till thing is, I ordered this before it came out, right? I'm thinking 7th edition, new edition. Point is, it was the wrong freaking book, right? I was supposed to be studying the 6th edition, right? I didn't realize when I first ordered it that the 7th edition was a completely different book. It's actually for the next test, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm there 2 days before the test, right? And I download a PDF. I had to speed read 700 pages, 1.5 nights. I was pretty stressed out. I gotta say, I was pretty stressing me out just thinking about it again. Just my mental. I've been sleeping for the past 2 days just because, the state that I was in. Because on top of this, I got clients, waiting for videos. So I spread read it. The night before, the 29th, I get back from Berlin. I get 2 hours sleep. Because my son was playing games in the other rooms. He's talking so loud. I couldn't even sleep. Also the anxiety. I took the test, and the test center in the middle of Amsterdam. I thought I got everything, a lot. I didn't think I passed actually, but then I passed. So I felt really good about that. So now I'm certified for the next 5 years. So that's good. And I'm gonna put what I learned. I'm going to apply what I learned into the things that I do, and I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how I can apply that to a project relating to crypto. I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, this is just a picture I took from I remember, I don't know what the river was. It's a bridge. On the right side here is West Berlin, and on the left side is East Berlin. Right, and if you could see here on the right, you can kind of see the wall behind on the right. I wish I could point. My mouse doesn't go on the screen. If you look on the right, you see Pirates Berlin. Behind that, there's behind. You can kind of see a wall back there. That's the wall, right? And I guess what I'm trying to. The only thing that I love the stark contrast from here, where it's you see the West in capitalism and building and construction. You see the cranes, right, on the right there, right, and on the left it's more residential. Yeah, I always had this weird thing. Every major city, the East is a bit kind of like, it's got that kind of even sketchy vibe sometimes, right? But that's a different thing. But you see the stark interest. You see this. Why am I saying this? This is how we're growing. It's growing. Technology is growing. Tech is growing. This space is growing. It makes me proud to be a capitalist, to be honest, when I see this. Anyway, what's next? What is next? This is right. What did I? Right. These are books that I'm reading right now because it's in a different slide. But so this year, I do a lot of reading already, but a lot of the reading is towards something that I'm trying to learn, or something for work, or just different, habits and everything, yada yada, right? And so I want to read something else, but on a regular basis, right? Just to create habits, apart from what I'm currently reading, right? So that's something. One of them. I hate saying like yearly resolutions. I like to just create new habits. That's it, right? I like to create new habits, but that's one habit that I'll be creating. Reading a separate book, at least like 10 pages a day, something like that. I don't know. I saw something on YouTube where somebody did like, working out this Monday, this much every day, reading. It inspired me. Anyway, this is what I'm reading right now. Just reading. I heard a lot about this. So, The Intelligent Investor, Benjamin Graham. It's very interesting so far. I started reading this a while ago, but I got distracted by other things, particularly the project management stuff. So but I'll come back to that. I want to finish this, but at the same time, my girlfriend got this. This is a Christmas present for me. And Red Roulette. I started reading on the flight to Berlin. It's pretty interesting because even to start, the author, his wife, it's written from an insider from the Communist Party in China, right? That's crazy, man. And this dude's, I just started reading, but this dude's wife just went missing. That's what happens out there. People just go missing. It's crazy. And it's interesting to get this angle because it affects everything, just how the world's going, east, west, and China, Taiwan, the fight for now it's all about semiconductors and computer chips and it's crazy, and it affects everything. It affects the world and affects the space. It's pretty good reading. So I gotta get those two on the left done, and then this is on the waiting list. The culture map, that's something that my manager suggested for the team. He got this. He told everybody to buy this. So, all right, it seems, for diversity, just trying to, I guess, talking to different cultures, right? And this is just good because I could be sometimes awkward when I socially. I must admit, and this could be good. Trading in the zone now. That's something I heard a few times from people who do a lot of trading, swing trading, day trading. I started reading this. It already. I like the way it reads, and I can't wait to get deeper into trading. I'm not ready for that yet. You keep hearing me say that, but I've started. That's what got me into this whole thing in the first place when I first signed up to that CFD trading account. So that's what, and I made good money on it, right? But with the leverage trading, but yeah, I just kind of I feel that the months I was doing this, I was flirting with the whole thing, right? But I know that I really right now there are the foundations that I need to build upon before I get into that, right? But we'll play with trading a little. We'll continue to trade a little bit, but when there's still a lot to learn. This is something. There's some habits that I want to do. In case you're asking why am I showing this? What does that have to do with crypto? You know what? Everything affects everything you do affects everything that you do. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I want to get good at investing and all this stuff and planning the future, I know that there are things that I can do in my personal life that could only make that more stronger. I don't know, that's not really the right word that I want to use, but there are, like, you're reading more every day, right? There's information. There's information out there. Stuff your head with it. Learn stuff. Learn more stuff, right? Devise ways where you could read multiple books at the same time, because there's so many books. That's information that you can learn and take to do smarter things. I've been running. I have been running. I have not been running for a while now, since I took a couple runs last week, but I've been in, I don't want to say bad shape, but since my kids were here back, I don't remember now. It's been over a month. I've been kind of out of shape, and you know what I've noticed? I just wanted to share. The analogy is that, when you're running, maybe some people can relate to me, where you're working out so much for a long time and you're getting really great shape, and then after a while you just stop, and then you start eating a lot for a bit, and you put on some weight, and then you do it again. But that's okay. Don't feel bad if that happens, because you know what? It's just like this. It's just like the stock market. This is what I feel like. Sometimes you're up. This is a bad example. This is a very bearish moment. So you're up. Oh yeah, you're working out, feeling good, and then you take some time off. Oh, and then you go up again, and then you take some time. So, but the point is, you don't want to go in a downtrend long term, right? And the point I'm trying to make is, I feel good. This is my point here. I feel good on what I've been doing with running and particularly fasting with my weight, where I feel like what's a good chart to show this, where looking at this chart, it almost looks bearish for Bitcoin. No, it's my convictions are strong. The point I'm trying to make is, sometimes you go down, but your down is not as low. The dips are not, just as long as your dips are not as low as your previous dip, right? So I feel like, this was 2020, and then I get, then I'm out of shape again, but then I get, particularly with this is, forget that. I'm kind of like talking crap now. Let's go back to this. But what I want to add to that, so I feel comfortable with the running and fasting, that's doing good, but I want to add more muscle. I got to get more muscle. I feel like that's what I want. That's the next step. Muscles. Better discipline spending habits, right? And what I mean to say is just with the whole schedule of dollar cost averaging, because I feel like that's something that I want to continue, but doing it in a more disciplined way. Having set capital for that, because currently it's, it got kind of out of hand. I'm not gonna lie to you, it got to a point where we're maxing that that credit card, but a credit card that is due at the end of the month. It's not like, I would never. What I don't suggest is to use a credit card that carries over the monthly balances. But credit cards where you have to pay at the end of the month, that's better, right? But you know what? Sometimes these dips have to be bought, and it's the fastest way to get the cash in there. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes these dips have to be bought quick. And by the way, now that we're talking about that, I just wanted to say real quick: if you're in Europe, Bitpanda, I've realized, is the fastest way to get fiat. Right, it's not as instant as, say, a credit card, right? But credit card has fees. A Bitpanda, you can get cash in there, like if from your fiat, from your bank, to your Bitpanda account within about less than 3 minutes. 2 minutes. Really quick. That's the fastest that I've seen so far. Even Crypto.com is like half a day. And by the way, Crypto.com is pissing me off because they are so backed up on their orders. I'm waiting for my Jade green card, and it's been like over a month, right? It's been over a month, and it's still not here, and I'm a little bit pissed off. I got a message saying that the whole like we're sorry for the inconvenience, but we're so backed up. But at the same time, that's a good sign because you can see how they're blowing up. They're blowing up. So Crypto.com, good thing to invest in. I would say, not financial advice, but let's get back into this. Right. Points. Okay. Be a user. Get to know the tech. So that is something it's a bit of an action point as well. My suggestion, if you're getting into this space, if you're watching this and you're interested of getting to the space and knowing what to invest in, the best thing that I could suggest is also to be a user of the project, right? So for example, let's just take Crypto.com for example, right? I'm a user of Crypto.com. I have their Crypto.com card. I have an account with them. I buy through them. I have a Crypto.com card. Well, the one that I have now is deactivated because I'm waiting for my new one. But the point is, I do have a card and I can spend it, etc., etc. So I'm a user, right? And I can see if it's a good product or not. And the funny thing is, and I think I mentioned this last time, when I've been using it, I should have known to invest more into it actually because I knew that it was good, right? Because I liked it. I was talking about it to people, right? And then when I first got into this, it was at like 10 cents, I think. March. Let's see. No, let's see. Days. Let's just see. When I first got into Crypto.com, when I first signed up, was like, November. What the frick? This is not gonna load up quick enough. Let's just try month. Come on, give me a break. Well, point of it is, when I first got in, it was like under 10 cents or something like that, and that I don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but it blew up since then. And I was lucky because you have to stake coin to get the red card, which I had. So that amount that I originally staked is like a lot more now, right? And I'll continue to stake it. But the point is, I should have known because like I liked it so much. I should have invested more. And being that I like it and that I use it, that's my point, right? And by the way, Bitpanda is another good sign, but at the same time, Bitpanda's reward system is not so great. That's the reason why Crypto.com's reward system is better, because when you pay for it, you get better percent cash back on your purchases paid in crypto, right? Binance is also good for that, by the way. Be a user. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make here, right? And these games are coming out real soon. More play to earn games, right, are coming out. Play with them. Check them out. You could actually download the app. See how just see if it works. Put yourself in the mind of the retail and the mass people. Like, hey, are people gonna like this? Is this working? If it's not working for you, if it doesn't have any interest in, if you can't find any genuine interest in yourself in the product, in the project, then chances are a lot of other people won't either. But if you find something you really like, and you find like, wow, this is something and it's very user friendly. If you find these projects, maybe more people are gonna like that project too, and maybe then that could be something to invest in. Use the stuff. Don't just listen to what I have to say or anybody says about something. Do your own research, and if you can, use it. Year zero, Okay, well, I'm calling this year 0, right, for myself. I am now in year 0 because the first 2021 for me was like year -1, right, where I'm just learning. I learned a lot of stuff, and I'm always going to keep learning, right? That's life. So that's year -1. Now year 0 now, okay, I learned a good amount of stuff. Now I am going to practice now. At the same time, I am going to slowly build up my foundations of my future strategies. At the same time, being conservative, where I am paying off as quickly as possible my house, right? Because I like that whole notion of like I really don't want to get heavy into this whole thing until my house is like completely paid off. So me personally, I'm making like a 10-year plan here for myself, right? Because I have a plan to pay off a certain amount every year, right? That I gotta pay off, and I'm shy of 3,000 for this year, just shy of it, because I was waiting to get paid by some clients, but I wanted to make it in 2021. But anyway, point is, that's totally fine. Have a set number every year that I have to target, right? Pay that off, and if I do that within 10 years, I'll be done, right? And that's if I do that conservatively, just doing the regular stuff, working, paying off, right? And everything that I get from this whole crypto space, gains and everything, that is where it's going to be added on to it, right? To lower that 10-year plan into something less. But these are strategies that are yet to be like fully detailed out. But that's kind of the sentiment that I'm going with this. Yeah, 4-year plan. Now I'm kind of getting in this whole 4-year mentality as far as how the waves are for crypto, right? Because from what I understand, Bitcoin every 4 years it halves. Like there's a full cap amount that can be mined, right, per year, per 4 years, and every 4 years that amount gets halved. So basically that's in the algorithm. So the last Bitcoin will be mined with, I don't know, I forget, like 100 years or something, and then there's going to be no more mine. You can't mine Bitcoin anymore, right? That's why Bitcoin is scarce, and that's why it's a good idea to have money in Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but it's good to buy to layer into Bitcoin, right? It's for me, it's like a savings account. And so what I'm doing now, all the stuff that I'm doing now, I have the intention of just to let it marinate for 4 years, right? And I'm planning everything that the gains and everything that I did in year -1, just from yesterday. I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna like forget about that for a while, and just kind of start from scratch, right now, and with the tools that I've learned, right, and I want to look for things that I can invest in, projects. Right? I'm gonna look for projects now that I can invest in within the what I mentioned here. Yep, within this space. Look for projects within that space to invest in more throughout the coming years, months. So, and that's the plan. So invest in big here, and let it wait for 4 years. And that might not even. It might be. You're gonna see me go on these journeys looking for projects, right? Because you have to find that project that no one really knows about yet. It's gonna be a bit of research and hunting. So what else? I think that's a 4-year plan. So here's some more action items for you, just for my audience before I close. Because if you want to join me on this journey, man, this is just my way of also trying to help adoption of digital assets. If you haven't already, you should open your digital asset wallet. When I say digital asset, by the way, it means crypto, but I think a lot of people, the retail space and the regular people out there in the world who don't know anything about crypto just sounds scary to them, right? Crypto, I don't know, because it's creepy. I don't know, crypt, like tales from the crypt. I don't know, but it's it's digital assets is a much more acceptable word. So sometimes you might hear me say digital assets. When I'm talking to people, I'm gonna just start saying the words digital asset to again help in the whole adoption, just getting retail people to adopt. And by the way, during this holiday, I'm talking to more people, and it's funny how people are so scared and they don't know so much about crypto. And it reminds me again of how early this is. This is still very, very early, particularly when you think of all the gaming and everything, right? These games, this metaverse, it still has to be written. No one's done it yet. You know how much work? Just think about how much work needs to be done to write up a metaverse, right? Just think about it. Like the work. A lot of kids, programmers. If you're a young person right now, and if you have a passion for gaming and artistic stuff and building, computer coding. There's gonna be a lot of work in this space, man. There's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna take a while, and it's gonna be race. Facebook is trying to be the first one, but my point is the fact that if you think about the amount of work that needs to still be done when this is gonna be where everybody and where little kids are in the metaverse, right? Point is we're still early, guys. We are still early. If you get in now, there's going to be a lot of upward. There's a lot of upwards that this is going to go. I'm having a hard time articulating and being eloquent tonight. Sorry, guys. So is that it? So open up your digital wallet if you haven't yet, because that's where you need to start being able to buy crypto, trade crypto, open a second digital asset wallet, right? Because you know why? One is not enough. You need at least, you need a good amount because it's better to diversify your assets. That diversifies your risk. There's many reasons why you should have different wallets as well. Maybe having different things for different actions. And also the thing is, you need to start. The way I discovered that Bitpanda, was so easy to send. And I don't know how it is in the U.S. I'm very interested. I wonder how quick you can send money to your I gotta find out, to your Coinbase account, because sometimes you have to be quick. But anyway, this is like almost nearly instant. And the way I discovered all these things, you have to kind of discover it yourself. What's easier for your actions, how you move value around, what are your motion habits like. So it's better to have a good handful of wallets to do that, right? Right. And if you haven't, if you have 3 revenue streams already, then good for you. Then I can probably learn from you. But if you haven't already 3, this is one of the reasons. This is right here. I don't know if I mentioned it already before. This concept right here is what got me into this in one way, because I don't forget what it was. It might have been on Instagram or something. I caught something where it said, you should every millionaire has at least 3 revenue streams, and that stuck with me. I was like, oh shit, right? So at the time I had my full-time job, right? I have my own. I'm a freelancer. I have my own media company where I have clients, corporate clients, and I shoot videos for them, right? So those are the 2 things that I'm doing regularly. I was like, oh, I need one more. And so I kept thinking for a while. I kept like, what can I do for my 3rd revenue stream, right? And now I think this was bouncing around my head for nearly a year. And for a while, I was even thinking like, and I think this is before the pandemic started, right? And then for a while I was even like, maybe I could even be like a trainer, like a physical trainer, because I'm pretty like intense in with the physical training, and I've been known to be quite motivational, right? So like, man, I could maybe physics. So I was thinking how I could do this. I was even playing around with the idea for a while. Eventually, I found out that it was best. But then I just stumbled onto investments, right? And so that's now my third revenue stream is in investments. So those are so if you don't have, so first of all, if you have a job, if you want to get into this kind of stuff, doing this stuff, you should have side hustles, right? Because you don't want to be using the capital you have. Say if you're, I'm thinking a lot of people who are watching this, you probably have some sort of job, right? Because if you're already like made millions on crypto, there's no reason for you to be listening to this, right? So a lot of you might have a job already, right? So your job, which is great, that's nothing wrong with having a job, so long as like you enjoy what you're doing, great. But in my opinion, that job should, like, I like to have my job, the capital I get from my job just keeps paying for the mortgages and everything, all the stuff, right? And I just don't think about it anymore. All this crypto and everything stuff mainly comes from side hustles, like my second revenue stream, or right. I like to keep that separate. So if my point is, you got to look for your side hustles if you really want to get into this, right? Because if you just have one job and you're content with that, then that's the whole point. Then you're just content. This going into crypto and all that. These are people. I think the personality, in my opinion, is someone who wants more, right? Who wants to be a part of this growing space, right? Who's not content with just the norm, right? Get your side hustle on. And once you get your side hustle on, then think of your third revenue stream. So and your third revenue stream could be like just like me, like investments, right? Anywho, I think that's where I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. That's pretty much it. I'm going to. There's gonna be some evolution with. I'll try to bring you more stuff. I'm trying to evolve on the branding of my channel and the format of this show, etc., etc. More to come. 2021 was a great year. Now we're in 2022. Let's kick ass. All right. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to, like if you want to, or not. It's all good. You have a wonderful day and year.